globally, I describe what we do as evidence-based resistance training. I am, as previously noted, my foundation is in super slow. I'm always looking at that principally rather than practically, which is how little does a person need to actually achieve the result that they want. And often what I've found is that people don't realize exactly what they want. They have an idea of where they would like to go, but not everything that entails. And for most human beings, if we can just get them stronger, they tend to move more and they become more active. They perform more what we call activities of daily living at a higher intensity or higher effort. They perform, their leisure time physical activity becomes more active, and as measured by MET values, metabolic equivalent, which is just a shorthand known kind of clinical assessment of metabolic output. And so if you can get people stronger, they tend to move more, they tend to do more, and they tend to have better outcomes. What's especially important is, especially if you come from a kind of high-intensity training background, we've had sarcopenia, or the age-related loss of muscle mass, kind of pounded over our heads. But the reality is that the year-over-year loss in strength as a measure of grip or thigh extension far outstrips the losses in muscle mass. In other words, by the time you notice appreciable losses in muscle mass and lean tissue, you've already lost significantly more strength. Like, you might lose 10% of your peak ability or peak isometric torque in your quadriceps in a year, but you might only see a 0.5% loss in muscle mass in the same area. And as I like to tell clients, strength is a currency that we live our lives by. You either have the strength to do the activity or you don't, regardless of the amount of muscle mass you have. And since for most humans, there's a pretty fixed amount of lean tissue you can support on your frame for a given weight of bone. I choose to focus on strength because that's much more malleable. Most people have lost a lot of it. And frankly, a lot of my clients, who tend to be CEOs, supermoms, and retirees, aren't coming to me going, I want an 18-inch neck and I want just giant deltoids. And they want to lose some fat, they want to gain some strength, they want to improve their posture. They want to play with their kids and grandkids a lot more. And here in Austin, with the very active cultures you've seen, people running, biking, cycling, swimming, rowing, all over the place, this model works really, really well because frankly, they'd rather be doing that. They don't want to, I tell them, I don't want you to get good at hanging out with me. Rather, I want you to spend as little time with me as possible and then tell me about all the amazing things you're doing away from here so that I can do it too.
How little is that little time?
My pithy line is 22 minutes twice a week, twice as strong. And I measure that using an isometric mid-thigh pull, which is a ecologically valid assessment for total body strength, by which I mean you could be a 20-year-old rugby player, you could be an 80-year-old woman in an assisted living community, and improvements in that measure is strongly predictive of total body strength, of lean tissue, and of all-cause mortality.